everybody? How you doing today? And welcome to the latest edition of the Drew Mini Aloud podcast. So great to have you with us for this Friday, the 10th day of November, the year 2017. And of course, this is Andrew Perry. Coming alive and at you from the busy streets of Brooklyn, New York today as I chit-chat with you what's happening in the world of sports. Where this is your 20-minute one-way sports talk with some flavor. We have a lot of college football to get to, 3 games to talk about, especially the big game and the 1980s Notre Dame Miami game. We'll talk about that, but we'll begin talking about recapping Thursday night football as not much was happening to be honest, as the Seahawks beat the Arizona Cardinals as they improved to 4 and stay in the thick of things in the NFC West against the surprising Los Angeles Rams. And now they're in second place. And as far as the Arizona Cardinals, I think the series is not. I think they could get back. Just got to get back in a winning streak. So the Seahawks will join their mini by probably get their guys together as you see, Richard Sherman left the third quarter with a tennis torn Achilles, as you see him hopping in the third quarter. But besides the play in the fourth quarter with Russell Wilson, probably one of the best scramblers in the league, in my opinion, right now. Which, let's be honest, that play should have been stopped. If Arizona would have stopped that play, they could have had a chance to win that game. And other than that, Arizona have so many opportunities in this game to win this game. They really did. The defense did their part. Yes, they got a turnover. The first offensive play, forced fumble by Cam Chancellor, who's honestly the best safety in the game, no question about it. Forced to be reckoned with, really. Since the first time I see a safety who could make an impact in the game, since probably the person I can think of is Ant Reed of Baltimore, one of the best safeties in the league. But anywho, nonetheless. Now back to the scrambling play. I believe I'm not sure. I don't remember what down it was. I think it was third down or second down. It was probably third. I know it was either second down, third down, or long shot. And when I saw that play, for first it looked like the play was going to be down. At first, like, all right, they got him for a sack. Nope. Russell Wilson, juke. Russell Wilson say, all right, let me find a spot. No, I ain't. No. And then he finally found Baldwin. And again, I will say it again. Russell Wilson, right now, best scrambler in the league. He looked like Roger Staubach right there. He looked like Roger Staubach, really, because if you look at old tapes of Roger Staubach, how Roger Staubach could dodge the tackles and avoid the sack and make something, and really, Russell Wilson made a disastrous play, made something out of nothing, because that play was not supposed to go nowhere. That play should have been a sack, and for Baldwin to make that catch and take it for 54 yards. To set up was eventually Jimmy Graham second touchdown, and you gotta add Jimmy Graham as one of the best tight ends in the game. With Rob Gronkowski, Travis 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 Kelly from Kansas City. Jimmy Graham is deserved to be in that conversation with the best of the bunch. And again, again, and and let's look at it. And what's as far as the quarterback is concerned, affordable, as far as the quarterbacks are concerned, I think they play. Drew Stanton did what he can to help his team to pull back. The problem was, the problem was they took too much time in the game. They took too much game, in my opinion. Cause if you look at that game, you gotta say to yourself, the Cardinals could have made the comeback and win this game. But credit to Seattle what made their defense so one of the best defense in the league. Still number 5. This is the fifth time. This is the fifth time since the Legion of Bulls, since they won the Super Bowl. Let's put it that way. Or you could say since Pete Carroll been the head coach. They have led the league. They have led the league in points allowed in the last 5 years or so. They're in the top 5. They're still number 5, which is still darn good. They're not as dominant like they was like the year they won the Super Bowl, or getting there, but they still good enough to stop some people. And you saw it yesterday. Because can you imagine if they scored if one of the receivers from the Cardinals, especially Fitzgerald, caught that ball, the lead would have been cut to a touchdown. But again, kudos. You gotta give credit when credit's due, and they did a phenomenal job. They did a phenomenal job, and that's why they are one of the top defense in the league. The Cardinals have a pretty good defense too, and Blair Walsh made a couple of field goals. But this game was clearly a defensive struggle, a defensive game. It really was. It wasn't a lot of points. 22 points to 16. It wasn't a lot of points scored. It really wasn't. Arizona could have made a comeback if they would have stopped the play, and if they would have sacked Wilson on that play, they could have made that comeback very, very easily. But instead, Wilson, in my opinion, Wilson is one of the most difficult quarterbacks to defend in the league. Because he could beat you so many ways, besides Aaron Rodgers. He could beat you with his arm. He could beat you with his legs. He made the plays when he needs to make it. Despite the fact he was emotional yesterday because his father passed away. It didn't stop him from making a tremendous play. And speaking of tremendous play, Larry Fitzgerald is still the man. It's still the alpha male in Arizona. He caught 14 passes for 10. In his career, in his career he's in the 10,000 mark, the 10,000 catches of his career, which is sensational. Where he could continue to build his resume for the Hall of Fame, for the future Hall of Famer in Canton. So he will be there soon. The only thing he need is that silverware on his finger. That's the only thing Larry Fitzgerald is missing. And you would hate to see him retired without a championship ring. But the Legion of Boom, they are, and I forget to mention that Seattle have never, with that win, Seattle is perfect against Arizona. They never lost it. They never lost to Arizona. They are 4-0 all time, all time against Arizona, which is hard to believe. Which is really hard to believe, including that tie. One tie I forgot to mention. So Seattle would enjoy their mini bye. I guess that's the good thing about Thursday. After you play Thursday, you could rest Sunday and this and that. You could rest and get ready to host Atlanta on Monday night. A week from now for Seattle. As for Arizona, they go to next week. Well, next week they go to play Houston Texan for Houston Texan at next Sunday. Now, the moment the college football is business is about to pick up as three top 5 teams, top 10 teams are going to face each other. TCU versus Oklahoma. That that have a huge impact in the big, not only in the Big 12, but in the playoffs to a certain extent. Whoever wins, whoever wins that game, obviously they're out. Obviously they're out of the playoff hopes. But I don't think they won't get enough wins to win this game. I think whoever wins this game, yes, their playoff hope will still be intact. But yeah, I don't think it won't be enough. I think they'll still be out. And speaking of out, another another SEC team, and it's a good old rivalry between Auburn and Georgia. And could Georgia could Georgia continue to have to keep the number one, keep that, not let number one be effective? Because against South Carolina, it looked like it affected them a little bit. It looked like it would affect them a little bit, but no, Georgia prevailed against the Gamecocks. And for Auburn, it's time for